We are live. Yes. No, I got water, babe. We are live. We are live. We are live. Woo. Excuse me. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, party people. We are live and ready to thrive this fantastic Wednesday. My goodness. This week is full. It is full every single day, and I'm excited about it. Hey, baby. Are you where you need to be? Thank you. All right, we'll be right back in a moment.
Good morning, my name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to you each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Like. Good morning, good morning. Like.
You just get to copy the link, that's it.
I don't know why that is, babe. I apologize. I wish it was something I could do for you. I'll think about it, though. Good morning, Miss Vivian. She made it.
Good morning.
She made it. We are excited to see you here today.
It's going to be a good show today, too.
It's going to be a good one. And we're starting a series. You guys know that we all talked about it. We talked about the 7 habits of highly effective people.
We talk about it a lot.
And we actually talk about it a lot. And we decided, you know what? Let's really talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it with intentionality, with purpose, with the decision to learn, dig in, delve in, and adopt any of the good principles that we're not already executing upon. Hey, Rochelle V. Gray, Ro V. Gray.
Whoa. Is that the real Rochelle V. Gray?
That is herself.
Gosh, good morning, Sister Ro. Renaissance woman.
Absolutely. I've been trying to get Ro on my 4 o'clock show, Stories of Overcoming.
She should be on your 4 o'clock
I know.
show.
She'd be so busy. And I figured 4 o'clock we could get her on after school time, I hope. But I would definitely love to have that take place. So let's get right into it. Why don't you talk about the 7 habits of highly effective people before we break apart the first one that we're going to focus on?
I will. Okay. In the 80s, there was a classic book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People
by Stephen Covey.
Written by Stephen Covey. Mm-hmm. Now, this book not only has influenced so many people, it's also influenced so many other great thought leaders, because they reference the book constantly.
Oh, wow, Ro. As a matter of fact, Ro said her school is a 7-habit school.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I've never heard that concept before, but I love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
And I love that you're on today, that your school is a 7-habit school.
Absolutely.
Now, each of these habits are so important and they were kind of revolutionary when they came out.
Yeah.
But they mean so much. And I find that, because I listened to it on a tape and I read the book. So I listened to it again and again in the car, and it kind of became a part of who I am as a person. But we're going to go through this for the next 7 days on our show. We're going to go through the 7 habits of highly effective people. And today, habit 1 is called, Ro can tell you, it's called be proactive. That's the habit. The first habit that's going to greatly change your life is the habit of being proactive. Now, before he gets into the habits of the book, he's talking about things like getting yourself ready, getting yourself prepared. He's talking about what is a habit. He talks about the 4 quadrants of time. Mm-hmm. He does all of that before he goes into the 7 habits.
Mm-hmm. But we've talked about the 4 quadrants. Actually, this week we talked about the 4 quadrants. There is a lot of good information to be found in that book. So we definitely want to encourage you to pick it up if you have not already. Habit 1, be proactive. Be proactive. Well, a lot of times people go over the 7 habits and they list the habits, and that's what they focus on, each individual habit. But we're going to focus on each habit each day so that we can determine more understanding of what those habits actually mean.
Dare we? Can you use your dictionary on your phone?
Yeah, I can.
Let's look up the first word I would like to look up is called habit. Look up the word habit. Let's see what the dictionary says about the word habit. There's a whole lot of colloquialisms about the word habit. Habits are so light that you can hardly feel them until they're so strong that you can't change them. Mm-hmm. That's one.
Hey, Brittany, how are you?
We are the sum total of our habits. That's another.
Okay, so the definition of habit, first of all, habit is a noun.
Okay.
And it is a person, place, or thing. It's a thing, right? It's not a person, it's not a place. Right. And the first definition.
Schoolhouse Rock, because that's how we all know that it's a noun is a person, place, or a thing. That's how we know that from Schoolhouse Rock. These kids today are denied Schoolhouse Rock.
I actually watched Schoolhouse Rock on YouTube with my granddaughter.
I watch it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. It's a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. Hey, Brittany, good morning.
A settled. Please say it again.
A settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up.
Exactly. Now, when you think of habits, which ones come to mind normally? Spitting, smoking.
You think of the negative things, do you?
Most of the time, I think so. I think it's just another thing. It's very natural to go to the negative first. Mm-hmm. You've got a bad habit. There was even a song called "Bad Habit," a rock and roll song called "Bad Habit." He's talking about a woman. She's a bad habit for him. He can't let her go.
And so, but can habits also be good?
Mm-hmm. I love this talk about habits because habits can be good. And there's another interesting thing about habits I once heard. I want your opinion on it, Lisa. Mm-hmm. There's a concept that you cannot get rid of any habits. You can only replace them. Oh, you've heard the concept before too.
And I agree. I subscribe to it personally, actually.
So you just can't quit a bad habit. You have to replace that bad habit with a good one.
Look at my shirt. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I got a little distracted.
I could have made a joke right there.
I was trying to show off my new shirt. I did this bling last night. Viva la Latina.
Viva la Latina. Viva la Latina.
Right.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. I have gotten a lot better with my blinging. You guys, it's going to be a class soon. It's going to be a class soon. Once I get that thing locked down, y'all, you know I'm going to teach it. But I have enjoyed it. That's right. That is one of the habits of highly effective people is teach what you learn.
And soon, like within 24, 48 hours.
Yes.
So a habit. I know what they are. So the first habit is to be proactive.
Be proactive.
Now let's look
at
the
we're
word
going to
proactive
break
too.
that. Right. I was about to say, we're going to dig into that. So habit number one is to be proactive. So let's look up the word pro, meaning ahead of, active, meaning what? Pro, meaning ahead of, and active, meaning that's wrong. I hate when dictionaries don't know how to give a definition.
They will fail you.
Anyway.
There's certain words dictionary can't handle.
I know. It makes me want to run screaming in the street because what I learned in the third grade, along with many of you, is you cannot use the word in the definition of the word.
Come on, they got to do better.
So it is an adjective. And it is creating or controlling a situation by causing someone or something to happen rather than responding to it after it has happened.
I like that part of it.
Yeah, I like that part too.
Yes.
I had to dig
causing and creating something to happen instead of waiting for something to happen.
Right.
And responding to something else to happen.
Yeah.
That's the habit of being proactive. You cause a circumstance.
Absolutely.
You impact a circumstance by something that you do.
I have a pretty little illustration for that one.
Let's hear it.
Want to see it?
Let's see what you got.
Let's see what you got.
That's not it.
Is that not it? Oh.
Too early for that.
Yeah, it's too early for that.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was my illustration. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
So there's something that you can do that will cause something else to happen. Zig Ziglar would do this thing here where he would stand in front of an audience. He says, now I want you guys to think about it, and I'm going to do the same thing with you guys. I want you guys to think about this. Is there something that you can say or do today? Mm-hmm. Something that you could say or do today that will make your life a lot worse. Mm-hmm. Think about it. It's something that you can do to say or do today that would make your life a lot worse. Mm. Now, when you think about it, what could you do today that'll make your whole life a lot worse? You can start a crack habit today. That'll make your life a whole lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
You might not want to do that.
Right, but that would make your life worse.
It certainly would.
But you could do that. That could make your life worse. Just think about what could you do or say today. You could cuss out your mama. Mm-hmm. That'll make your life worse. You could leave your mate. That'll make your life worse.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of things that you could think of that'll make your life worse. And if you can, in your creativity, come up with things that you could say or do that'll make your life worse, if you could do that,
then
the converse is so true.
Absolutely.
You could be just as creative. You can come up with something that you can say or do today.
Right now, even.
To
make your life better.
And even significantly better.
And in all honesty, that is one of the things that Brian and I, in all of our coaching, in all of the, the things that we coach people on how to do, focusing and mindset are probably where we get to spend at least a portion of our time. For me, I spend a lot of my time
bigger and bigger for me
in mindset, because I can teach you all these things. I can teach you how to write. I can teach you how to tell your story. I can teach you how to put together your program. I can teach you how to create your e-commerce website. I can teach you all of those things, but I cannot teach you to believe in yourself.
Amen and amen. You can help.
I can help, but if you've decided that you cannot succeed, if you've decided that the world is conspiring against you, if you've decided that nothing you try is going to work, then guess what? I am not stronger than your will.
Vivian says doing nothing would make my life worse. That's true, but here's the other thing about doing nothing. That's another habit that a lot of adults get into. I have beautiful people that I love that have the habit of doing nothing. Family members of mine
that prefer to do nothing, and they think that by doing nothing, they're safe.
Yeah.
They think that by doing nothing, they're safe. They think that by doing nothing, that's right, Melissa, be anastrophic. They think that by doing nothing, they're protected. Their Social Security is not going to get affected. They're not going to lose their Section 8. They're not going to lose their job.
Social Security.
Yeah.
Okay. I really want you guys' comments and thoughts on that. The concept that there is something that you could say or do today that can make your life significantly worse, and the concept that there is something that you can say or do today that'll make your life significantly better. Mm-hmm. I want to see how you guys feel about that thought, because I really believe that is one of the thoughts that can be empowering.
I do too. I think that we can find a way to realize the actual authority that you have over the things that occur in your life. So often we think that everything is happening to us. Everything is happening to us. Everything is happening to us. And in all honesty, I prefer to think of it as everything is happening around me. It's happening around me, and only the things that I allow to affect me are happening to me.
You hear what Lisa just said, y'all. Now, it's a short step from what Lisa's very short step from what Lisa just said. There are things in this world that you can control, and there are things in this world that you cannot control. Mm-hmm. The whole point of the serenity prayer: grant me, Lord, the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can change,
and the wisdom
to know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that you can impact and change, and there are things that you cannot impact and change. For example, how much control do you have over what someone says about you behind your back?
Mm-hmm. Or even to your face.
Or even to your face. You don't get to work their mouth or none of that.
But you do get to control how you respond to
Amen
it.
To that.
And that is actually one of the ways that you can be proactive. You can choose how you respond. I had an experience this week, if you recall, where I had to gather myself. Do you remember?
Mm-mm.
So a couple of days ago, I was interviewed for a publication that I thought was a very prestigious award that I was being offered. Yeah. I thought that it was a very prestigious award that I was being offered. The nomination process was long and drawn out. The interview process was long and drawn out. This has been going on for months now. And I thought, honestly, that it was very, very prestigious and that it was a big honor. And in the last leg, these people are very, very methodical. In the last leg of the interview process, this is the interview to be awarded for an award that I had been selected based upon my body of work and accomplishments. In order to get that award, I only had to pay $1,000. Yeah. I only had to pay $1,000 to get the honor of receiving the award that they believed that I deserved because of the body of accomplishments that I made. Now, I had two responses to that. The first response, in all honesty, was it knocked the wind out of me. It knocked the wind out of me. My first response was, how could I be so stupid as to think that I was really being honored? Now, this is me being honest. This is me being honest for a moment, right? That was what I thought. I was like, oh my God, they were taking advantage of me, though. They were trying to take advantage of me or whatever the case is. But I recovered because I reminded myself that they didn't make up all of those accomplishments. I earned those accomplishments. Those accomplishments were true. They were simply choosing to, what's the word? Not manipulate. They were choosing to
prey upon
to leverage them for their own. Absolutely. Melissa, yes. So I had to buy my own award, right? Lord. I'm not buying my award.
We could buy our own awards. Go to trophy shop anywhere.
Absolutely. And I don't have to pay $1,000 for it either. But so I got to refocus and say, you know what? They couldn't even exploit. That's the word. They couldn't even have tried to exploit those accomplishments if I had not made them.
Yes. The organization that did that to Lisa has been doing it for a long time.
Don't say the name.
I'm not going to say their name. Okay. But they hit me up with it once before, too. Okay. And Lisa, when it happened to her, it did throw her off balance for a moment or two. And we had to talk right away. And I knew what the game was because I'd been through it with them before. And I would like to think I was able to help my wife to reaffirm herself and help bring her back together because she was apart for a moment. Good morning, Brother William Brown. The first habit of highly effective people. Now, understanding that there are some things that we can control and there are some things that we cannot control. The first now it's time for that graphic, I think, maybe.
Okay. So which category is this going to be under? Focus on what you can change?
No, just show the graphic.
Just show the graphic? Okay.
And let's talk about it.
All right.
Now, Lisa made this beautiful graphic this morning. The circle of influence. And think of a circle inside of a circle. Now, the inner circle are the things that you have that you can control, that you have the power to control. Your attitude, what you learn, your education, enthusiasm for things, and your habits. You have a lot of power over the things on the inner circle. The things on the outer circle, you have very little to no control over. This is from the beautiful mind of Lisa Santiago McNeill, but others' opinions others' mistakes, politics, what others think of you, the economy, and weather. You know, what can you do about the weather? You can't. My wife, it boggles my wife's mind that I look at AccuWeather every day, okay? Because she sees the thing, why bother, Brian? You can't do nothing about it, and it's not going to be right all the time anyway. I'm just old enough to like it.
Exactly.
Bird says they must have thought you was a new fool.
Right, a new kind of fool. Well, I actually did respond back to them, and I said, upon close evaluation and discussed from the tactics that you chose to.
You told them that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And upon closer evaluation and discuss for the tactics that you use to try to exploit my accomplishments, I am going to choose to use my funds to continue to make contributions to the nonprofit organizations that I respect. And should they decide to honor me for those things, that would be great. But guess what? That's not why I'm doing it.
Exactly.
And take your little raggedy box of rocks and kick it.
But they get that kind of note all the time.
Maybe they do, but I just needed to send it for me.
That's right. I
needed to send it for me.
So the first habit, we're starting our journey for the next 7 days on this show. And by the way, this show is called Let's Talk About It. Her name is
Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And my name is
Brian K. McNeill.
That's right. And together we make up the
Empowerment Duo.
So you're watching Let's Talk About It with the Empowerment Duo. We have an express purpose, threefold purpose. We talk about three things here, three areas of conversation: personal conversations,
business information,
and spiritual inspiration.
With a little bit of shenanigans.
In it. Today's topic, be proactive. Habit number 1 of the 7 habits of highly effective people, I think fits in the business information and the spiritual inspiration categories.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree. Now we do have a couple of more points that we wanted to talk about, but I think that we need to go back to that graphic.
Okay.
Because I think some of us are not really understanding exactly how much control you really have. There is a larger circle, the circle of concern, that includes other people's opinions. It includes other people's mistakes, what people think of you, the weather, economy, politics. Those are things that lots of people focus on every day. And there's a lot of
the graphic one more time, please. And just think about you and yourself. Thinking about those things that are listed there. Do you believe you spend more of your time thinking about the things that are in the outer circle or thinking about the things in the inner circle? And if you're truthful with yourself, if you're going around most days with worries and concerns and pissed offedness, you're on the outer circle. You're putting your time in the outer circle.
Pissed offedness. That's right. And I think that it really is a waste of your energy, because all of those things are something that you have very little influence over. And I get a lot of I guess I could call it flack, but I don't really hold it as flack, but about not rising to every cause, not rallying to every situation.
Yeah, everyone, championing every cause, being a part of every rally, donating to everything.
I can't because I have to focus on what I believe my personal influence is, and where my circle of influence is the most effective. And most of it is in my attitude. It is in how I respond to the people.
How dare you take control of your own thoughts and actions? That's how some people will come at me and Lisa. How dare you make a decision that's in your own best interest?
Yeah.
How dare you make a decision that's for something that you believe in?
Yeah.
I want you to believe in what we want you to believe in now.
Yeah, and we have I can't help but to mention, without mentioning the person's name, a person that has tremendous concern. They have tremendous concern, but they use so much of their concern on us in a particular area that we are not concerned. So
yeah,
it's difficult to. So we appreciate them. We appreciate what their concern is, but their concern has actually become counterintuitive to our choice. And in that, we had to be proactive and control the amount of access that that individual has in our lives.
We had to cut it off. That's just that. We got to do what we got to do. Controlling the habit of being proactive. That's the habit number one. And there's a reason why that habit is number one. Okay. If you cannot conquer this habit, taking control. Now, the other part of taking, I'm going to get to your notes, definitely, baby. But the other part of habit number one is assuming and taking on as much responsibility as freaking possible for you and what happens in your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you are the kind of person who blames their current circumstances on things outside of their own control, my boss didn't like me, my mom didn't hug me enough, okay?
And every reason, I mean, everything that you do, you allow it to be tempered through that situation, absolving you of responsibility.
Personal responsibility.
Personal responsibility is so key and critical that it is one of the things that Brian actually goes about saying
to the men all the time.
Yeah, all the time. The more responsibility that you can take, the better off that you are.
And you want to take as much responsibility as you can because you can control the things that you're responsible for. And the stuff that you can't take responsibility for, you have no control over. You're giving up control of the success or failure of your life to something outside of yourself. And you don't have to. You have the power. Mm-hmm. Yes, you do. Even if you didn't believe you had it before now, I'm telling you today, you have the power to take control of your own life. And you must take as much responsibility as possible. Mm-hmm. It's not that the coach in high school didn't like you. It's why you didn't play pro ball. Mm-hmm. That's not why. Okay, let that go.
Absolutely. Today on One Word Conversations at 11 a.m., the word is get. Get. And Bill Brown's special guest is Justine Mader, right here on the Empowerment Duo page, on the Empowerment Network.
Beverly says, always brings the heat. Beverly always brings the heat.
What's she say?
She goes, nah, that's someone who don't have no business and they need to go to get somewhere and go worship with exclamation points. Dream killers.
You could look at it that way, but in all honesty, I just believe that this is someone who has learned a lesson in life that applied to them, and now they find some respite in wanting to help others with that same
I think there's a thin line, baby, and I think that person's crossed that line long ago.
Oh yeah,
and I'm closer to what Beverly just said, much closer.
They're just trying to find a purpose for their pain, and unfortunately, they're
trying to impose it on someone else's.
They misplaced it. I get it. Ms. Vivian said, "Pissed offness and petty-ness."
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
If you can be creative enough to be pissed off, if you can be creative enough to blame others, you can be creative to accept blame yourself. Stephanie Morris, join me and Melissa Price on Heart to Heart Conversations with Stephanie on Thursday at 12 p.m. as we discuss the lessons we've learned as entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that happens tomorrow.
It everybody else but me. I don't know what that means. Give me some more context, Ms. Vivian. Cynthia says, yes, be accountable for your own sufficiencies as well as your insufficiencies. Insufficiencies.
We see that happen sometimes in marriages. He's not making me happy. Ooh. You're putting your happiness, the responsibility of your happiness in another person.
Now, not to lift them up as the standard, but I remember a few years ago when Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith had a very public situation, and he openly and publicly said, listen, go and deal with your own happiness. I'm no longer responsible for your happiness. After they had been dealing with some issues where he was trying to make her happy. He was trying to make her happy with things and stuff. And part of the reason why somebody else can't be responsible for your happiness is they don't always know what you need or want.
That's a lose-lose proposition, trying to make someone else happy and being responsible for their happiness. I went through it myself, where I was trying to make a woman that I was dating happy. And I was trying all kinds of stuff to make her happy, and I was failing at every turn, man. Ugh. I was about, you know what? If I buy her these sexy shoes, then she'll be happy. And nothing changed.
Stephanie says, what's today's topic? Today's topic, we are delving into the 7 habits of highly effective people, and we're discussing habit number 1, which is be proactive. We're doing 1 habit per day so that we could give it some enlightenment, so that we can actually get into and dig into it. Beverly says, tearing down Lisa and Brian behind their back only further proves that they haven't learned not to be a jealous coward.
Ooh, wow. God. Oh. Cynthia Murray says, yes, it birthed the entanglement in August. Entanglement in August is
word of the year.
And that's going to always be funny to me.
The entanglement. Yes, that was the word of the year
I
for
love
2020.
When I watched that red table, that conversation between Will and Jada, and she said, that's when I got into the
entanglement.
We had an entanglement. And his face, he says, yes, entanglement.
Entanglement. Let me see what an entanglement looks like.
Priceless.
This kind of looks like an entanglement.
Priceless response to me. Oh my gosh. Entanglement.
Stephanie said, yes, stop asking others to make you happy. I've learned that I must make myself happy. I think you get to decide to be happy, to be quite honest. I think that you get to decide to be happy, because you can be miserable amidst everything that somebody else would see as a plus, a positive, or whatever. You could find a way to be miserable in that,
and you'll miss out on so much of your life joys.
Absolutely.
Now, when we started the broadcast today, we talked about how your life is a sum total of your habits, but there's another school of thought that your life is a sum total of your decisions.
Yeah, I think decisions.
And Lisa just said you can decide this and decide that. You can decide to look for the good or the bad. Okay, I have this meme illustration. These 2 men, they're in a jail cell. They're facing back to back, and they both are drawing a picture out the window. They're looking out the window. Okay. And one guy draws the bars that he sees. He draws the bars on the window. And the other guy draws the park, the grass and the tree that's beyond the bars. The first one, what is he seeing? He's seeing the bars. The second one is seeing the park past the bars. Is what you're choosing to see.
Absolutely. And I find myself doing a lot of choosing what I see. It's deliberate and intentional, so much so that I know when I need help. I understand the responsibility is mine. I also understand that sometimes I cannot do it alone. And so because of that, I have a team that helps me to manage my perspective. My husband is a great player on that team. I have coaches that are on that team. And it's a really, really important to have, and I have cheerleaders on my team. I'm grateful for my cheerleaders as well. But it is my job to know when to tag team.
Yeah. Yes. You got more on that thought?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, cool. Being proactive. If you haven't been proactive before this moment, you get to decide to start being proactive. What do I want my life to look like and be like? What do I have to do to make my life better? Pull the graphic up again, please.
You want your graphic?
Yep, your graphic, and I like it. And make it the inner circle. I want to see the inner circle more. There you go. These things here in this inner circle, if you start decide to control your attitude, I'm not going to let those and that take my mood down. If you start to on purpose decide what you choose to learn, YouTube University, please.
At the very least.
Yeah, at the very
least, you have the ability to leverage free education, free inspiration, free coaching, free. I mean, you got to invest at some point, but I'm telling you, take advantage of some of the stuff that is simply out there. Beverly is hilarious. She says, I'm the security. Just point, I'll handle the rest. Hello. Miss Vivian says, it's everyone's fault but mine. That is unfortunately the response of someone who does not want to take responsibility for anything.
That is on purpose trying to make themselves unhappy.
That's one of the things that we try to teach our children, that we tried to teach our children early on, that not me and it wasn't my fault, and coming home and telling me about why the teacher doesn't do this and doesn't do that.
I'm failing because the teacher don't like me. Really?
Yeah.
What you get on your test? Rochelle says, walking in my purpose makes me happy. Also, being appreciated makes me happy. Yes, and yes. And what if you're not appreciated?
That's the tough one right there. That's a tough one, because not being appreciated probably should not influence me as much as it does, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
Overlook something that I have done in love, and it will impact the way that I do it the next time.
You know what, baby? You don't do nothing for me. Really? I don't do nothing for you? So all that cooking and lovemaking and all that stuff is nothing, honey?
Cooking and lovemaking, understand, made the top of his list. Does not surprise me at all one bit. But
any loving act. How about that?
Those are the two top loving acts. And I think if anyone wants to determine whether or not you're getting any of that stuff, they can probably just look at your face.
What, if I'm getting any?
If you're getting any good cooking and good lovemaking.
They're very important to me. Okay. For example, last night my wife made chicken drums, not drumettes, drumsticks, and big ones. And, we had it for dinner, and I was excited and enthusiastic about getting up and warming them up and having them for breakfast today. And I did.
You are so hilarious. That was important to you this morning. My goodness.
Bounce out of bed to go get my chicken.
I love it.
So wait a minute. So I said I bounced out of bed to go get my chicken. And you said you love it.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? What just happened? And that means what?
You appreciate something that I do.
And so you felt or liked or?
I felt appreciated. And when I am appreciated, it will typically encourage me to do more of the same or similar acts.
So because I demonstrated appreciation, that will encourage you to do more.
Yeah.
Guess where else that happens, y'all? Everywhere. That happens everywhere. Yes. When you are genuinely appreciative, you get more of the things.
Genuinely appreciative.
Yeah, you can't fake the funk on that.
Don't fake it. Be sincere in your appreciation. I mean, seriously, it is important to be appreciative, to express gratitude.
Now is that time?
Give me some light.
It's that time that we thank our consistent contributors.
Yes.
And our people that have been rocking with us for years with our greeting songs.
Yeah.
Up first is Miss Vivian.
Vivian Reed is here. Vivian Reed is here, and now the show can go on.
Good morning, Miss Vivian. We do appreciate you.
Yes, we do. Good morning, Roe v. Gray. Thank you. The Renaissance one. Brian had a song for you at one point, but
I did.
You don't be here.
That's how I forgot it. I had a song for you.
Got it.
I gotta remember it. You gotta help me if you remember it. Melissa Price. Bow, 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 bow. Melissa's on. Now it's time for us to sing her song. Melissa's on. I just relearned the lesson. I should have took a sip of water before I tried that. I should have.
I couldn't even get finished without my water. It was crazy. Melissa's song make you thirsty.
I need to lubricate to sing Melissa's song.
Hey, Brittany. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. Brittany Thomas. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. Brittany. It's your time. It's your time. Yeah.
Yes, it is her time. And isn't that a great thought? Brittany, it's your time.
That's right. It's your time, Brittany. It is your time. Dr. Beverly's here.
Beverly!
Nope.
Let's try it again.
Nope. We say Dr. Beverly is here, and then we say
Dr. Beverly is on the show.
Because I don't know where you was all full out on that one.
Off key as can be.
Good morning, Michelle DeWitt. Off key is fine. It's beautiful. Michelle
Miss
DeWitt.
Oh, Miss DeWitt need a song.
DeWitt.
Or a logo.
Mm-hmm. Good morning. Good morning. Dr. Deborah Healing and Deliverance Coach. Mm-hmm.
Now back to Michelle DeWitt. I said the other day, Michelle's kind of cool in her spirit and all that. And Elisa's like, what? Michelle, you talking about? She's nuts. Is she crazy? I'm like, man, I haven't seen that side.
She's cool she's cool people, but she is not cool, chill. She is the it girl. She is the one you gotta hold on to.
Really? Okay.
That might have been a few years ago. We was a little bit younger. So maybe that might have something to do with it.
Cynthia Murray. I got that sister with me. That's right.
That's right.
Cynthia Murray. Good morning to you, my sister.
Absolutely.
Dr. Derek.
Absolutely. That's right, Melissa. Everything is happening for me. Mm-hmm. I think we need to tell the this is good, this is bad story after we get finished here, because I think it fits in. Bill's here.
Good morning to our friend Bill. Nobody thinks like him still. We love him so, and we always will. Our friend Bill. Good morning to our friend Bill.
Good morning, Bill. Thank you.
We love when you make an appearance.
Absolutely. It's so important to us. Stephanie.
Life has new meaning to me. There is beauty up above and things we never take notice of. You wake up and Stephanie, you're in love.
Did anybody else see Lionel's new girlfriend?
Yeah, Lionel Richie's 71-year-old Lionel's got him a 30-year-old bae. Michelle DeWitt song, Do It, Rogers, do it?
Do it.
Do it. Michelle, do it. Michelle, do it.
Oh, she's trying to give us a song, but I don't know that song. Do it, Roger, do it.
Do it, and Roger, do it. Is Roger the singer of the song? Because I'm gonna look it up. I want to find it.
Yeah, we would love to have a song for her. Help us.
Well, we appreciate the suggestion too.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, Lionel done got his
Lisa pissed off. Lionel got him a 30-year-old because she thought she had a chance with Lionel still.
You know, I love me some Lionel. I actually even subjected myself to American Idol just so that I could watch some current Lionel.
See, Lisa still thought she had a shot.
That's
I watched you on TV, Lionel.
Lionel, I love me some Lionel, honey.
I found out that material things I thought had so much value. Never had any value at all to me. I was a lonely man. A man with no direction, with no purpose.
He is country. He is Alabama country. Honey.
That's country right there.
He is as country as they come.
Oh, that's country.
He is country. Let me see. Do it, Roger. Do it, right. Do it.
I hope we can find it. Okay. But anyway, today's point. Lisa asked me to tell a story. She asked me to tell the story of good or bad. Okay. You don't know if it's good or bad. But actually, sweetheart, I was thinking of the story of the two elderly men in the hospital room.
Okay.
I thought that fit better today.
Yes, Stephanie, I love it. Yeah, do that one. Do that one. I like that one.
All right. There's two elderly men bedridden in the same hospital room. And they had been bedridden in that same hospital room for a long time. One's bed is closest to the window and one's bed is closest to the door. Now, over time, they kind of become like, I mean, you're stuck in the same room and they both are stuck in those beds, and neither one of them had any illusions about being able to get out of that bed for the rest of their lives. Now, over time, it became like their habit. The one in the bed from closest to the window, he would prop himself up with the help of the motorized bed, lift his upper body, he would look out the window and he would tell his roommate what he saw. Mm-hmm. And apparently there was a park down there. So the guy in the bed by the door, he'd heard the stories of the young people courting in the park. And he heard the stories of the dad with his son playing on the lake with a little motorized boat. And he heard the stories of squirrels chasing themselves or chasing each other around the trees and all that kind of stuff. And what happened was he enjoyed those stories, but then this thought crept into his mind. It's not there. He gets to look out this window and I get to look at this room. And because of that thought getting in his head, that it's not fair. He gets to look out the window and I got to look at this room here. He started to develop a resentment to the man who could see out of the window. So he started to resent him. And one night he was awakened by violent coughing and thrashing about from the man in the bed by the window. And because he had worked up a resentment to that man, he decided not to call the nurses and help him out and just went back to sleep. Mm-hmm. That morning when he woke up, he heard the nurses quietly rolling the man in the bed by the window's bed out of the room. And they were about to bring in another bed. He goes, before you put that other bed in here, could you put my bed closer to the window and put this other one here? And he's like, sure, no problem. So they moved his bed closer to the window and put the other bed where his bed used to be. And as soon as they get out of the room, he started to raise himself up, and with great difficulty, because he hadn't been propped up like that in a while, he raised himself up and he looks out the window and he sees the wall from another part of the hospital. There was no park there at all. The first man just chose to tell that story. Now, there's more than one lesson in that story, but I like it for today's lesson because of perspective. What are you choosing to see? Amen?
Absolutely. Amen. Amen. I got the song.
Okay.
The song is Do It, Roger, do it.
Okay. Do it. Do it.
No, oh. Do it, Michelle, do it.
Okay, cool. Do it, Michelle, do it. All right. Do it, Michelle, do it. How about that? Thank you, Beverly. Beverly, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Cynthia Murray says, I love that part of the song.
Do it, Michelle, do it. Mm-hmm. How do you like that, Michelle? How do you like it? Do you like it?
Do it, Michelle, do it.
And then notice every time Lisa does it, she does this move.
Do it, Michelle, do it. She said, jam it. She jammed it on it. All right.
That's your jam right there now. We got it.
Cynthia, I absolutely love Once, Twice. I mean, Stephanie, once, twice, three times.
She was talking about the song I was talking about. Material things had much value. Never had any value at all to me. I was a lonely man.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Stephanie Mars, great story. Perspective. What I choose to see is goodness in people.
I really think that that's a big part of being proactive, is managing your perspective. Mm-hmm. What is wrong with this versus what's right with it?
Yes.
What's happening to me versus how I choose to respond to what's happening around me.
In the book, in the 7 Habits, he spends a lot of time talking about that, about how we look at a situation.
I think
how we look at it.
I think it's important, and I think here's what I'm grateful for. Also, and I don't mean to inject gratefulness, but maybe I do. Is that we do provide that for one another. In this home, a lot of times we can look at situations just knee jerk out of humanity, and then because of the dynamic that we both have and focusing on mindset, on focusing on where we want to go versus where we are, we respectfully can help the other person shift perspective. Now, it's not our responsibility. It's not my responsibility to control his perspective nor his mind. However, in a marriage, the dynamic is a little bit different because we are one.
I think it's time to talk about. There's this book called Man's Search for Meaning, written by Dr. Viktor Frankl, and it's on my list of books that I think are essential for a person's development. I read that book many years ago, but it's one of those books that stick with you, and other books reference it. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People references Dr. Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. Now, Dr. Viktor Frankl was a Jewish man, and he got caught up in Hitler's raids, and he got put in concentration camps in Dachau and in Auschwitz. Okay, he's in concentration camps. That means they're going to die. They're going to kill him. They got the big gas chambers there, and they work them to death. They work the Jews to death. And they also degraded them a lot. They make them walk around naked and pick at them and all that kind of stuff. And they fed them this gruel. They had them in these big prisons, just rounded up Jews and threw them in concentration camps. And Dr. Frankl was in concentration camps. And he came to this place, and now they were torturing him, abusing him, starving him, and all that kind of stuff. But he came to this place where he had a realization. For every moment that I'm here, for every moment that these guards, these prison guards, torture my body, they're here at the same time. Every moment I'm here, they're here too. So they are just as much in this prison camp as I am.
Absolutely.
And he also came to this thought that they could do anything they want to my physical body. They could do anything they want. They can starve me food. They can beat me every day. They can degrade me, but they cannot touch my mind. They cannot touch what I choose to think about. And he called that the ultimate freedom, the last great freedom, He calls that the last great freedom. He could choose to think about what he wants to think about, even though that outside of his thoughts, he couldn't control. He was in a concentration camp. And he found, because he was a doctor before, he lost everybody in his family in the raids except for his sister. And he wanted to get out, and he wanted to write the book about the camps, and he wanted to find his sister again. That's it. He found that people that had, in the concentration camps, he was there a long time, people that had something to look forward to were able to endure more. They were able to handle more degradation. They were able to handle more pain because they had something to look forward to. The people that had no hope or nothing to look forward to, they died off. They died off easier. But your last great freedom is what you choose to think about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that today's habit was worthy of spending our time on. I hope that you've taken something away from today's program, and that you do take the opportunity to focus on the things that you can change, choose how you can respond, and take some responsibility for yourself, looking at the big picture, looking at the circle of influence versus the circle of concern, and determining how you are going to spend more of your time, effort, and energy.
I got to tell something here. Happened to me yesterday, or day before yesterday, was it? I had a client, a woman who's my new client, my newest client, paying me money. She said to me, Brian, I had to make a decision with you, Brian, because I made a personal vow not to work with anybody who wasn't in shape, is what she said to me. So she looked at me as her coach as someone who's not in shape. So she had to overcome that personal thing in her head to decide to hire me to coach her. I was like, wow. She goes, yeah, because the way I feel about people in shape and people who are not in shape, she felt like people in shape are better people or something.
I'm trying to let you finish your point.
Okay, I'm not going to finish much more than that. But I had to make peace with it. It didn't affect me as much as I think it affected my wife, though. But I'm going to let that go. William Brown said,
he said, interesting, on my morning reflection show, Happy Today, I invited myself and my viewers to see without expecting, to see what we see. Too often we see what we are expecting to see and we miss what we see. I think that is so true. But I was trying to give Brian as much room as he wanted to express and share however he felt about that. But here's the thing. She did two things. She created two major defects, character flaws, problems. One, she voiced an opinion on something that is none of her business. Okay, that was number one. And number two is her bias is showing. Her bias is showing. Who is to say that there is a specific definition of what this role should look like? Because I personally feel offended, and I've tried to keep him from letting me know exactly who it is, because she don't want to know. She don't want to know that I know. That's just it, all in a nutshell. Because it ain't none of her business, and I can choose to respond however I want to, because it's a free country. You can choose to say whatever you like to say, but please understand that you are also free to accept every bit of consequences that come along with whatever you decided to say.
You say something to me, I'm gonna tell my wife about it. I'm telling you that now.
So when you choose to express, first of all, your concern in an area of something that has nothing to do with you at all, and second, to show an opinion that is disparaging someone that I care very much about and has absolutely nothing to do with his ability to do his job, then you have invited me to speak to you.
That's the kind of wife I got, y'all. Y'all have a beautiful day.
Don't forget to tune in to Coach Ja here at 10 o'clock. Then tune in to Bill Brown at 11 a.m.
Bill Brown says, send her to me. She needs some labels work. Probably so, Bill.
Yeah, probably. But
she probably does need some labels work.
She needs some ass whooping before she gets some labels work. I'm just saying. And yeah.
Cynthia says she certainly overstepped her bounds.
Yeah, I get it.
Certainly.
She's welcome to have an opinion, but every opinion is not intended to be shared.
Michelle's like, Lord.
And yes, Beverly, she rubbed her complex. She rubbed her complex that she suffers from and blamed it on his presence. Told you. I'm security point.
That's right.
I got this one. Okay? I got this one.
Have a beautiful day.
And don't forget to have sex.